Hey everybody, Applicabledave here. I'm here to do a movie review on the new Fantastic Four movie, or what we would call Fan Four Stick. So let's go ahead and get started. I heard a lot of bad reviews about this movie, and I wanted to go in with a sort of like a clean slate or an unbiased opinion. And I tried my hardest to actually like it, but it just did not work. Reed and Ben's relationship was very superficial. I mean, you take it they were childhood friends when they met when they were like 10 years old, and 7 years later at the science fair, it didn't seem like there was a big connection between the two. The love triangle, or the underlining love triangle between Dr. Doom or Reed Richards and Susan Storm, was very forced. They should have just stuck with the whole "you're my rival, that's why I hate your guts." But I think it was pointless for them to kind of underlining show that Dr. Doom was very jealous of Reed Richards and Susan Storm. I felt like the characters were really bad as far as portraying the true essence of the Fantastic Four. Ben Grimm, it wasn't Ben Grimm. Starting from when he was normal and human, he was very quiet, very awkward, similar to Reed Richards, which I found really bad as far as the characters go, because they were very similar in a sense that you can kind of interchange them. It didn't seem like there was a big difference between the two. And when he transformed into the Thing, he was still quiet, he was still troubled. He wasn't that fun-loving guy that we all know and love. It wasn't him. Johnny wasn't Johnny. I mean, Johnny Storm is supposed to be charismatic, he's supposed to be flashy. He was reckless. I think they tried really hard to portray that, but in a bad way when they first introduced him in drag racing or street racing, and he was reckless then. But I mean, you can be reckless and still not have that charisma. And nothing against the actor, but as far as playing the role of Johnny Storm, it did not work at all. They didn't give him anything. It wasn't Johnny Storm. They weren't true to the character. One of the saddest things that I've noticed about this film is that I thought the old Fantastic Four films with Jessica Alba was pretty bad, but by comparison, in hindsight, I feel like the ones in the early 2000s were a lot better. At least that Fantastic Four had chemistry. At least they felt like a family. At least they had that interaction and that chemistry that I feel that is very sorely lacking in this film. I thought this film was very generic and very cookie cutter, to where it felt like the writers had no clue about the Fantastic Four, no clue about the characters, and they just whipped up a story and just ran with it. I thought the actors themselves were fine. It's just that they produced very one-dimensional characters. I felt like they were just strangers from the beginning all the way to the end. Even between Reed Richards and Benjamin Grimm, as long as they've been friends, it felt like it felt the same across the board. The love story between Reed Richards and Susan Storm, it was non-existent. The most action that Reed Richards got was basically Susan Storm putting her hand on his shoulder. Way to go, champ. The movie wasn't that long. It was about 90 minutes, but 2/3 of the film was build-up. It was the origin story, and a very long origin story that was unnecessary. But I felt like 2/3 of it was the origin story, and then all of a sudden they have their powers, and 10 minutes later the movie's over. I just felt that they spent so much time with the build-up that it just got ridiculous, to where for a 90-minute movie, I felt like it was a lot longer because of how long and drawn out the origin story was. I mean, it took over an hour for something superhero-ish to happen. What kind of a superhero movie does that? You have a superhero movie that's 90 minutes long, and the first hour you don't see any superhero stuff going on. And so I thought it was the mixture or the pace was really bad. Like, imagine having a 5-minute build up on a roller coaster, and then when you finally drop, it's over. That's how it felt. It felt very anticlimactic, and I felt that the timeline or the pacing of the movie was terrible, and it was an ultimate letdown. One of the biggest flaws I think about this Fantastic Four reboot is the fact that they they tried to reinvent the wheel as far as the origin story goes, and they failed so bad because they took so much time, and so they went way back in the timeline to create this origin story to where the majority of the movie is the origin story, the build-up. Not even when they got their powers, but the build-up towards that. Even though I watched the whole thing, I honestly felt like the movie actually started when they finally go up against Dr. Doom. When they finally show up as a team with their fantastic powers, that's when I felt the movie actually starts. Before that, it was just build-up, it was all science-y, and I didn't go to see it for science. I didn't go to see a science film. I went to see a superhero movie. And there was not a lot of superhero-ness in it. And added to the fact that Dr. Doom was, he showed up, or he finally started being a bad guy the last 20 minutes of the film, and then him being defeated like soon after that. It felt like there was, what was that? So that's it, guys, for my Fantastic Four review. All in all, I thought the movie wasn't all that great. Was it worth seeing the movies? No, it wasn't. Is it worth buying the DVD? Maybe, but I felt like going to the movies wasn't worth it. The reason why I really wanted to go was because I wanted to do a video review with you guys. I had a lot of people and my friends ask me what they thought about the new Fantastic Four movie, and since I heard so much about it and how bad it was, I had to see it for myself, and I was excited to make this video. The highlight of my movie experience for Fantastic Four is this right here, filming my reaction to it. So that's how bad that is. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. I'm pretty sure you guys can agree with me when I say that this movie is one of the worst Marvel movies ever made. It's in the class of Daredevil and Elektra. It's worse than the previous Fantastic Four movies, and that's saying a lot. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys, and stay tuned for my next videos. I have a lot of video projects that I'm going to be doing, and so yeah, I'll catch you guys later. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you at the next video. Bye bye.